In Boston, the effects of climate change can mean losing access to valuable green space. The Boston Harbor Islands are particularly vulnerable. Extreme weather events, increased erosion, and sea level rise, all resulting from climate change, are already affecting the 34 islands. Heavy storms previously canceled some ferry services this past summer, and cancellations could become more frequent. Additionally, high heat events can make it unsafe for rangers and the public to even visit the islands. Furthermore, erosion can make docks unusable, preventing people from landing on the islands. Eventually, sea level rise can reduce their footprints or even sink some completely, making the islands inaccessible to their 500,000 yearly visitors. The program manager for National Parks Boston Climate Conservation Corps, Rachel Muller, acknowledges some of the conflicting goals that affect their response.
What factors of climate change should we anticipate? What are the unknowns? And then doing cost benefit analysis of our approaches. Are our approaches just based on continuing to keep the land available for recreational use? Or are we thinking about preserving rare species that only exist on the harbor islands?
While green spaces like the Harbor Islands are threatened by climate change, they can also make the city more resilient to it. Much like the islands, parks along Boston's coastline are threatened by sea level rise and flooding. The Boston Parks Department has started to renovate some parks to make them more climate resilient. Langone Park and Pueblo Playground in the North End were the first. The park's seawall has been made more structurally sound, and athletic fields have been raised out of the flood zone. The boardwalk has also been raised by 4 feet and features seating that can be raised in the future to increase flood protection. Liz Sullivan with the Parks Department says spaces like this are protective.
A resilient park that can accept stormwater actually protects the inlying neighborhoods from that storm surge. So it kind of accepts a lot of the water overflow, and instead of it goes into the park rather than going into residential neighborhoods.
Boston Harbor is expected to rise about 3.4 feet by 2100. If city green spaces aren't made more climate resilient, parks along the coast could end up underwater, including the very land I'm standing on. Reporting in Boston, I'm Kendall Clare.